Hello, we're playing some level. I literally just switched over a second ago.
Firemen spotted an unconscious kitten laying lifeless on the floor of a burning house. A few moments later, the fireman puts an oxygen mask around its face while using cold water to bring the unconscious patient back to life. A Russian policeman used a patrol car to stop a speeding car, saving the lives of the pedestrians crossing the road. It is a good thing that it only took him just seconds to act. Even though some people were a little banged up, no one was injured.
10.49 megabytes.
This woman notices an old man shuffling across the busy street. When it begins to rain, she rushes towards him to give him an umbrella. What a great act of kindness. An old man is seen crossing a road with cars and becomes frightened and freezes. Another man jumps out of his car and gives the old guy a piggyback ride to safety. And here's a father returning from the military as a huge surprise gift for his family. An off-duty policeman is walking by a river with his family and notices a woman screaming for help. Without thinking twice, he leaps into the river towards the struggling child. Watch as the crowd helps them get back on dry land. These people formed a human chain to save their dog trapped in undercurrents of a spillway drain.
Are we going for 1,000,000 again? Because we bought a lot of 1,000,000 last time. You see what I mean about how many characters I have. I use drag.
Watch what happens. Watch as this guy removes chunks of grass and dirt covering a drain on a highway. And here's the same road a few minutes later. Here's a 6-year-old boy who gave his allowance to a homeless man. This canyon runner
I wouldn't be able to fly it, Sandman, because you have sand on it or something.
Tries his best to cross his line, but fails every time. A few moments later, another runner, Simon Chabreau, picks him up and helps him cross the finish line and holds him up until medics can arrive. Simon's win was forfeited to help his friend, but he was later awarded $15,000 for his sportsmanlike deed. This picture when the boyfriend of a girl helps her shave her head because she suffers from alopecia, which makes her hair fall out. You can see it's tough on her. But then, her boyfriend shaves his head in support of her, and she bursts into tears. Truly heartwarming.
Look at that 1,000,000, boy!
Some fishermen in Russia caught something other than fish. A swan trapped and tangled up in a mess of fishing line. It looked like the swan had all but given up and was resting upside down. Its head lying on its stomach. Fishing line had tangled the big swan to some tree branches.
I usually million most time in this
it takes some time
series.
to get the line off the bird,
more
but the bird
time.
is so tangled up, the fisherman brings it ashore and uses scissors to finish the job. The swan is now free and looks like it will recover, and another swan, possibly its mate, was watching the whole rescue. It sure was nice of these guys to take the time from fishing to save an animal.
What the?
This child was walking along in the rain when he noticed a brick over a drain and picked it up. Underneath is a bunch of garbage. He starts to remove the junk, and the water starts to drain. Just doing a friendly deed. In Amsterdam, a dog playing fell into a canal and wasn't able to climb out. A woman passing by jumped into the water to save the animal.
I'm not dumb, by the way. You literally have I am.
She looks to be having a rough time when another man jumps in to help.
It's fine, open then.
The dog is finally brought back to the bin. These office workers could have just drank their hot coffee in front of the cold window washers outside on a scaffold, but that would be rude. Instead, the guys outside get a nice surprise when the office buys them a coffee. What you're witnessing is a daring attempt to rescue a 9-year-old black Labrador named Hardy that was out on a walk and found himself trapped in the partially frozen river. Fire and rescue services were called, who crawled across the thin ice.
Good boy!
The dog is back on shore where he's dried off and happily wagging his tail, thanking his rescuers.
Good, now it's time to quickly complete this. Just go brown.
Had these kind of people not been there, the worst could have happened. Here you see a guy successfully rescuing boxes that fell in a concrete storage drain. Sometimes there's truly positive acts of kindness like these window cleaners disguised as superheroes. And here you see the emotions of a little girl named Michelle from Nigeria after receiving a doll. Some guys notice a couple of seal pups need help and capture them. Fishing line is wrapped around the neck of the first animal. They cut it off, and the baby seal runs back to the ocean. The second seal has plastic wrapped around its neck. When they cut it off and open the net, the seal is calm, relaxed, and not trying to bite anyone. It likes to be pet and wants to hang around with its new friends. Asraf Khan Usmani has saved so many animals, the people have nicknamed him the Spider-Man of Bangalore, because he climbs tall buildings.
Don't you hate it when you can't find the place you're looking for? What 3 words makes it easy to find exact locations? It has divided the whole world up into 3 squares. That's about the size of a parking spot. Each square has been given a what 3 words address made of 3 words. So you can find every business, every entrance, or anywhere at all, really. Next time you need to find somewhere, use what 3 words? Try and it'll be faster.
Trees to help the animals. He's rescued cats, dogs, monkeys, and birds that have been trapped in difficult places. He also works with veterinarians and firefighters anytime an animal needs help. Asrar is a random act of kindness just waiting to happen. A woman used a pair of kitchen tongs to snatch 4 baby ducks out of a sewer drain they had fallen into.
Oh, look, she hears them! She hears them! Oh, damn it!
A man from San Diego took part in a random act of kindness project and came up with the idea to take some homeless people out to breakfast. Being homeless once himself, he rounded up some hungry-looking people from the street and gathered them together at a restaurant for breakfast. No, he's not rich, and he didn't win the lottery, and is still trying to survive himself. A man in Perth, Australia stepped into a gap between the train wagon and the platform, and his leg was stuck. Authorities tried to free him. When this didn't work, they asked everyone inside the cars to go outside and help push the train enough so the man could get his leg out. On the second try, he was free. A traffic cop runs over to help an old lady get across the road safely. A man with special adult needs found himself behind on his home taxes, and he had lost all the people that had helped care for him: his mother, grandmother, his father, and his brother. Neighbors learned that he had a $50,000 tax lien placed on his house, and he might end up losing his home. They started a GoFundMe page and was able to raise enough money to save his home, and at the last moment, a neighbor donated $3,000 for additional taxes. That's a lot of kindness. Eugene Yoon wanted to do a life-altering act of kindness. He saw a video on his Facebook page about a man named Arthur who was unable to walk. Eugene knew he had to help him, but it would cost $80,000. Eugene quit his job and hiked from the California-Mexico border to Canada. People donated to his cause, and he was able to buy the robotic exoskeleton so Arthur could walk again. He then went searching for another random act of kindness project and met Alberto Velasquez, a seamster that lives with 24 family members under a single roof. Eugene said that for years he wanted to start a clothing line, and Alberto had inspired him to finally do it. Now Alberto gets paid making shirts that Eugene sells on kinlovegra.com. A win-win act of kindness. In China 2017, two cars collided at an intersection. The car overturned, leaving the driver trapped inside as a man tries to pull him out. But it's not going to happen. But within 20 minutes, more than 20 people rushed to help push the small SUV back to the upright position. Believe it or not, no one was injured in the accident. Traffic can be scary. A small dog was hit by a car that didn't stop. That's when an 11-year-old boy raced out into the street facing oncoming traffic and picked up the injured dog and brought him to safety. That's a super dangerous thing for a small, young child to do. The boy was praised for his heroic actions. A man who looks inebriated was crossing a railway with his bike when he tripped and fell down with the bike. The man enters and starts to pick up the items on the ground. Unaware there's a train he can't see behind him, headed towards his way at full speed. Railway workers start running towards the man, and one just barely tackles and pushes the man off the tracks as the train speeds by. In Bangladesh, a flooded river separated a baby deer from its family, but a local teenage boy took the tiny deer in his hands, raised his arms, and crossed the river. Sometimes the water was even above this brave kid's head while he skillfully crossed the river, bringing the animal to the shore. No one was hurt, but the man spent 9 years in prison. That's all we got for now, folks. If you like the video, subscribe.
Despite some people saying luck doesn't exist, there is simply some cases in which you can't deny it. At a MotoGP race in France, when one of the drivers had a mishap and lost control during a turn, Jacob Cornfield got extremely lucky that he managed to jump over the opponent's bike, and thankfully everyone was okay.
Oh my goodness me, what have we just seen there? How is Jacob Cornfield the gelato?
During weddings, it's the tradition for the bride to throw a bouquet backwards, and whoever grabs it supposedly will be the next to marry. But in an unexpected turn of events, the bouquet ended up returning to the bride. At a professional football match, a really lucky moment for the team in yellow happened when one of the players from the opposite team made a dive and pretended he was injured, and by doing that, he actually prevented his team from scoring. It's no secret that Jenga usually involves some sort of luck. A complete unbelievable moment happened when a dog was observing some friends playing Jenga and decided to get in the action. Even though bears are not necessarily aggressive to humans, the best thing to do if you encounter a bear in the wild is to not freak out. A scary moment happened when a group of friends were enjoying their time at the lake, and suddenly a bear showed up. But luckily, they kept their cool, and the bear ignored them. Simgay Akaz is a volleyball player, known for managing to make some crazy saves. At one volleyball game, when she made a save so close to the ground, they had to check the slow-motion cameras to make sure the ball didn't touch the ground.
Gardening to the next level with max power from Ryobi.
Even though many people volunteered, in human history, only 12 people have actually got to walk on the moon. Something that you have to work very hard to get the privilege to do. And the footage from the moon is absolutely crazy to watch. At Formula One races, when going in a straight line, the cars get into speeds of well over 200 miles per hour, so any mishap can be scary. An incredibly lucky moment for Kiki Rosberg happened.
Oh,
He
really?
managed to make a save
What's
by
I got
doing
it
a
from?
360 and didn't lose his place on the race. At a martial arts practice when two fighters were practicing their kicks, for a second it looked like they were about to collide. It's always super important to make sure to learn how to use a tool before actually getting your hands on it. A TV host got very lucky when she was pointing a nail gun in the wrong direction, and the audience managed to tell her before she caused herself any damage.
We're about to start.
During an NBA game, after Blake Griffin gets fouled, he decided to make a throw from behind the blackboard, and in an incredible turn of the events, it bounced off the top and went in. Even though sharks usually never attack humans randomly, they might get confused if you happen to be closer in their way. When a diver was very close to a shark, the diver happened to be blocking his way, so that's when the shark opened his mouth. But luckily, the diver reacted quickly, and nothing ended up happening. When a man bought a candle for his home, he realized that fitting it between the glass and the furniture was a tight fit, so much so that there wasn't enough oxygen for the candle to keep lit. But it resulted in an amazing visual effect. When a man was trying to destroy his desk by throwing an axe to it, he didn't realize the desk had his force field on. In probably one of the luckiest touchdowns in football history, the ball managed to bounce in the opponent's hand while the player catched it on the ground, and he took advantage of the confusion to immediately go and score, leaving the commentators speechless.
Antonio Freeman. Oh, right on the left arm, bring the ball up in the air, and
Getting free popcorn isn't something too unusual. At the Invictus Games, a young fan was seen successfully getting free popcorn by taking it from none other than Prince Harry himself.
Thank you.
When a woman was about to cross the street on her bike at a fast speed, a man with incredible situational awareness saved her from getting injured.
What?
The man was filming a TikTok.
I told you there's a secret spot here.
Firemen spotted an unconscious kitten laying lifeless on the floor of a burning house. A few moments later, the fireman puts an oxygen mask around its face while using cold water.
With so many fans of any given sport, it's expected for some of them to be a little over the top. When a fan sitting courtside at an NBA game tried to poke some fun at LeBron James behind his back, a perfect timing turn occurred. Sometimes it just takes one person to make a mess. When a bunch of fans in the crowd were looking like they were about to jump to the pitch, one actually managed to do it, which caused the rest of the crowd to follow, causing a massive mess. It took almost an hour to take all of them out. During the second half of a college football game between Arizona and UCLA, a man kind of started a chaos when he dressed up as the referee and walked into the field, which put all the players on edge, and it snowballed into a big conflict, which thankfully was resolved quickly. What looked like it was just one of the defense players making a great job was actually a fan who jumped into the pitch, and when the other players noticed, they weren't too happy about it and chased him until he escaped through the tunnel. It's normal for fans at any sports game to be excited, especially if their team is winning. Not sure what prompted this, but a Cavalier fan decided to stand up in the middle of a game and just start making a sort of robot dance. When the Cubs won the finals, one of the fans in the crowd sneaked into the pitch to celebrate with them, and the players were so excited, they didn't seem to mind the fan. Okay, a good lesson to learn is to never mess with a mascot. When Utah's Jazz Bear was sort of poking fun at a Cavaliers fan, he didn't take it too well, and tried pushing the mascot, a thing he regretted seconds after. A probably very sad moment for a basketball fan happened when former NBA player Kobe Bryant threw his arm sleeve to the crowd, and 2 other fans took the sleeve away from him. And even though he didn't seem too disappointed at the moment, he probably regretted it later. A very bizarre moment at a football game happened when a fan managed to bypass security and jumped into the football field. Then the fan proceeded to bump players, and then just kind of ran away, leaving everyone confused. Some people have better reflexes than others. When a young baseball fan saw a ball come to his field and he rose next to him, he decided to create his own line and take the baseball. It's no secret that NBA players are big, but the average height of players being well over 6 foot. A very bizarre moment happened when a young fan decided to push Russell Westbrook, without much success obviously, and Russell proceeded to give the fan a lesson.
Working on a triple-double. 4 for 6 from the floor for the 3-point line.
A fan might have went a bit too far when he threw what seemed to be a sort of plastic at Cristiano Ronaldo. Luckily, he was okay, but his teammate got scared for a moment. Okay, this is not completely the fan's fault, but a good thing to keep in mind is not trying to go for the ball when you have a huge platter of fries and a world-class athlete heading towards you. A pretty illegal move from a fan at an Arena League game happened when one of the Sharks fans grabbed one of the players from the opposite team by the helmet and didn't let him go. And despite his actions, he still got the approval from some players.
Pretty sure that's not legal. Football, but yet you gotta stay out of the field of play, and he about rips the face mask. Well, there's John.
At a high school volleyball game, one of the players got super excited that her team was winning and went to give high fives to the crowd. And well, the fans got a little too excited, bringing the barrier down with them.
Jullie van elkaar te baantje. We staan nog quick to the hook of him. Watch.
It's no secret that people who sit courtside on important NBA games are generally very wealthy. When an intense fan was caught on camera telling LeBron James to suck it up and kind of taunting him, turns out that fan was no other than Judy Love, who's the 4th world's richest woman, with a net worth of $4.7 billion. Despite the tough words, they ended up winning, and LeBron posted the moment on his Instagram. During a volleyball game, a fan with the shirt of the team walked into a team picture like he belonged there, without security, or even other teammates realizing he was an imposter. With autographed sneakers by famous NBA players going for several $1,000s, it can be expected for fans to go a bit too far for them. When Steph Curry tried giving his shoes away to some fans in the crowd, it turned into a small scuffle with some of the fans. An Arsenal fan with a pretty good aim did a very disrespectful act when he threw an empty water bottle at English soccer player Dele Alli. And well, as a sort of revenge, Dele Alli taunted the fan by showing a 2-0 because Arsenal was losing by 2 points. When a baseball fan thought he was grabbing a foul ball at a baseball game, turns out it was actually a fair one, and he regretted it seconds after, and felt pretty bad about it. When a fan saw that his favorite team was in risk of getting a goal in, he decided to distract the players by throwing money into the pitch, which is a kind of a weird strategy, considering footballers are paid extremely well, and he only threw singles. Not sure how these fans managed to sneak all the toilet paper, but for some odd reason, Belgium fans decided to throw massive amounts of toilet paper during a football match, which ended up delaying the match. With so much security in NBA games, it isn't usual for fans to manage to
Wait,
get
what?
into the court. Somehow, an
Money?
over-the-top fan managed to go unnoticed by security. After a
I
game
can
ended,
access
he
that.
proceeded to taunt
I am
Russell
pretty
Westbrook.
sure I can get into that. That was never. I'm telling you, Shring. I don't think that was there before. It was I went on that. Oh. If I can get into this, we got a mission to do today. I really hope we can, because missions are really good.
When a man with a parachute landed in the outdoors arena during the fight, the parachute man was arrested. It took 30 minutes to get him out of there. The parachute man bullied was later complained because it gave him
Wait.
time to recover.
Am I the only one who could see a foot?
When a fan invaded the pitch just to take a picture and follow it, he didn't want to do it.
How did he get in here?
When security went to grab the fan, he
Honk!
stopped grabbing him. During a long jump competition, one of the athletes was struggling to surpass the previous athlete who was in first place. So when she went to talk with the coaches for advice, some fans got super excited to be on camera, which was kind of a distraction for the athlete, which she started to look over at the camera screen. When players in a basketball game under a whistle, the game completely stops and the referee can make a call. A fan decided to use this as an advantage to play the players off when they were about to score against his team.
Cheerio. You back?
This edition is where you'll find Electro and Shocker, making a series of large unscheduled withdrawals.
And after some recently hard to be upset, the big
Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Captain Goody Two-Shoes Man. What? In a bank? Who decided?
Bruh. What is this?
and was asked to leave.
Electro!
We gotta get these people to safety before we tackle Electro.
I've heard of a transaction charge, but this guy takes it too far. Spider.
Something is fast. Something. I do not understand how I just died.
Sometimes soccer players can become sort of actors. During a match, professional football performance also the actor started with martial arts.
Hello?
He's actually nice.
Thanks, would have been nice.
Hello, welcome. Thanks for the be nice, bruh. What's the Captain America can do anything? I'm pretty sure he'd stay if Stan Lee in this, but I'm not sure. In the
On the wall. Do we have something that would fit in that?
like his shield. I can't believe we didn't think that earlier, man. We definitely can't complete the game to play this. Definitely didn't all probably know this.
Everybody watch out for Electro! Wait, if he grabs you, then he leaves himself open to attack. Shockers escaped from the vault. Don't let him get away.
Visual.
Victory for the heroic heroines. You were awesome, Cap. Oh, shucks, Iron Man, you're making me blush. All back to mine for a celebratory burrito. Yay for heroes in New York. And remember, kids, don't eat yellow snow. Until next time, stay classy, kids.
Finished in 4th place at 13.44, same time as David Oliver, but on the photo finish, he gets the nod just ahead of Oliver.
Okay, I kind of feel bad for the honest athletes on this one, but an entire country was actually banned from the Olympics and all global sports, including the World Cup for 4 years, for having many controversies with doping, and that country is Russia. The executive decision was made after the country was found to have tampered with laboratory data, and well, this is an issue that's been going on for years. An example of this is the drama that happened in the Olympics between U.S. swimmer Lily King and Russian swimmer Yulia Efimova. Yulia is a Russian athlete who received a ban for doping before the 2017 Olympics and managed to successfully appeal it, which sparked some feud between U.S. rival Lily King. I do not think she should allow it.
Continue start.
She is tested
Only got 30 breaths. We need 20 more. Look, I mean,
throw up the number one in the air, and I was being myself and being very goofy, and I saw it on the TV, and I was kind of like,
every supermarket ever. Okay, let me see something. If I look on the map and tap on this, you can get him. A Stanley in a thingy my boggle. Let's play 3.3 mode on this. I'm gonna go with. You know what? Him. Magneto.
Look at that! Woo! Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Well, have a good day now. Good afternoon, ma'am. Would you like to donate to the Children's Hospital?
Man.
She said no! She won't donate! She hates sick children! Every supermarket ever.
oh, excuse me. Hi, do you guys have Lucky Charms? No, actually, just ran out, but we do have the generic brand Good Luck Totem. Oh, okay, well, okay, but hey, but maybe you'll actually really enjoy the generic version. Objects that signify good fortune. They're magically okay. Okay, yeah, okay, but you'll definitely enjoy our generic brand things to put in your mouth. That is just a dirty bag of peanuts. Okay, yeah, but what do you think?
I prefer the farmer's market.
This is really good.
Yeah.
Is that butter? And these little green flecks, would you call that an herb? Or, I really don't know, man. And for preparation, I find a machine that'll warm things
Look,
up.
you don't have to talk to me. You can just take a minute. Every supermarket ever.
Okay, so just type whenever you're ready. Oh, you have a chip actually, so we put it in the bottom spot. Okay. Yeah. That's what you try. You should look at it. Just like everybody. It helps. Yeah. You know, actually, it's a little easier to put the whole thing in your mouth. Really get it moist, yeah. It's not ready. It's not ready. Keep going. Oh, careful. Okay, try. That's all. I'm so sorry. The carpet coins. Do you have another?
Hey, you know what? I don't work. I just like waiting that.
Oh, so sad.
Clean up on aisle 6. Alright, how many bags?
I think 3.
Oh no, we can do it in 1. Just you watch.
Okay.
So, a lot of stuff. Any big plans this weekend?
Yeah, I have like time.
So, I'm going to this family reunion, and, but I don't really want to go, so I may not, because, well, my dad's brother's going to be there, and technically, that's my uncle. I don't like him, because I owe him money, I guess, and it's for this whole thing back in Vegas, and some golf clubs, and I just don't really want to pay. Yeah, perfect. I have to fix my gallbladder now, so I have to get surgery for that. But I didn't even know what a gallbladder was until recently. I thought it was a bladder that only women had, but apparently guys have it too. Fix that, but I'm thinking maybe I don't.
Jesus.
Series of large unscheduled withdrawals. Those cats. Who's this?
This volleyball player somehow managed to get the ball like 1 inch before it hit the ground, which kind of interrupted the other team's celebration. In one of the probably craziest game winners in basketball history, the Raptors were winning by 2 points, and there were only 3 seconds of the game remaining. So, of course, everyone thought that was it, but...
Lance has got to throw it up, yep. It's good, Shaq.
This stacking competitor quite literally celebrated too early when he did his personal record, but forgot to click the button. I didn't know you could do this in volleyball, but in this brilliant play, this player managed to save the ball, while the other team was too busy celebrating.
Water? In a bank? Who decides this stuff?
During a 5,000-meter run, the back then second-place runner decided to prove to everyone she wanted the first place more than anyone at the race. After what looked like quite a painful catch from the goalie, he decided to prematurely celebrate the catch, just to regret it seconds later. A good good lesson to know is to never showboat early on in a race. This Olympic player lost out on a gold medal because she tried to do what would probably be a cool trick if she managed to pull it off. But sadly, she didn't. In this insane match of young basketball players, the team already started celebrating because there were only 3 seconds remaining and they were winning by 2 points. But one of the players threw an insane shot. After this tennis player barely managed to pass the ball, he believed that there was no way his opponent would catch it, so he didn't even look back. This soccer player got a little too excited and made a premature celebration, which cost him a pretty easy goal. Well, apparently volleyball players getting the ball in almost impossible scenarios is not an uncommon volleyball occurrence. Alicia Newman is a Canadian athlete, specialized in pole vault, and during the Tour Karlsruhe in 2019, she was having an amazing streak. And even before a very challenging jump, the audience was already cheering and celebrating for her. And even though she didn't make it, she was still happy with her performance that night.
478. It's a crowd. You see the smile on her face. It looks like a jump to nothing, really, with the smile on her face. I think she's thinking, I might be able to do it, but I've had a great night already. What's the Commonwealth champion got there? 4 meters 78. What? She got the height.
She got the height, she did. But yeah, as you said, you know, she's delighted. She's walked away here with a national record and
the team with the yellow shirts were probably celebrating seconds before one of the craziest saves in volleyball history happened, right before their eyes. NBA player Nick Young celebrated a 3-pointer a little too early. After